It was a 3-1, at least back then, because recently this year, it's always been very one-sided. They've always swept Team Falcon's ID whenever they do meet in a match. But Eve's the last band though. Okay, that leaves,
Paquito is up if that's something that they want to consider. But again, we've seen Esmeralda, and it looks like they're going to pick up the carry, which again, I feel like is a very strong pick right now. It just counters so many things. I think Vitality should not rush for the Sora for now because they're the kind of team that kind of wants to challenge that. Because I feel like if they stop a dominating hero, it sends a message to the other teams and be like, what's next?
Yeah, you know what? After seeing even the Selena in Sydney's hands yesterday, I might as well just would rather see them flex it a bit more because now they prioritize the Akai and Paquito. So there is a chance that Falcons, Violet with the Sora, phenomenal. I wouldn't mind if they do actually consider it here, but then do they also pick up the Valentina? Because then that also might limit their chances or their lineup in a way. You'll have to always be up close in order to fully utilize it. But I think it's okay, despite the Akai being present, they actually don't consider the Valentina at all.
I think that is pretty okay right now because I feel like going up against Vitality, a team that is amazing when they rush forward for a fight, having something like a Zushin to kind of like slow things down is going to be pretty good. The Sora as well. If Sora from Falcon's ID gets a win over Vitality, Brig, I think we can just lock it in. It's Sora day. It's Sora day. I think it's going to be very hard. It's going to be an uphill battle. But if they do it, hey, c'est la vie.
If that does happen to be the case, then I maybe don't want to see it anymore. Like, let's just take it out and let them revert back to the other EXP.
No, let's just put it this way. If Sora wins, right, you and me, we can take a break.
Oh.
Let someone else come in and hang out with Taylor. Right?
That's true.
Please don't leave me.
Anyways, Kimmy has been picked up here, which, by the way, is a pretty good counter against the Zushin, especially after Zushin's current nerf of the range of her lantern, making it so that it's much easier for Kimmy to punish.
I just honestly like how they're just so not reactive to the Sora and how they're just keeping it simple in terms of their approach in the draft.
They're making it like, oh no.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, in terms of just repositioning overall, I think the Kimmy would have a much easier time doing that compared to the other mages that could have been the option here. I mean, the Valentina definitely has dashes yet, but they might want a bit more of the DPS to come through because we actually don't know what the gold lane is going to be just yet. We don't know what the pick for Chell could be.
I think Harvey would be a pretty safe ban.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the carry can deal with most gold laners. Maybe even consider a Granger. Because right now, Brick, my worry is, what about his Paquito?
Yeah.
Right? If Esmeralda gets banned out, then the natural counter has been, let through.
Yeah, because the Freya could not be considered anymore since they've already revealed the carry and the Sora.
Oh, wait, yeah, you're right.
So, well, it's also banned. So,
No, honestly, right now, I'm just worried about that, right? Because the Paquito can deal with the Zushin as well as the carry. And we've seen Falcons... No, we've seen... Who did I get? Either way...
Violet.
Paquito is one of those heroes. Once he gets like 3 kills, right around 3 kills, it becomes very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. So at this point, we also don't really know what the mid duo is gonna look like for either sides because we already see the mages.
The glue is still open if that's something that Falcons wants to get. Because right now, let's recap about Vitality and their strategy going into this game. It looks like they're trying to force Falcon's ID on some kind of damage jungler because in terms of the tanks, I would say Balman is still up and Balman is not great right now just because going up against Paquito, a lot of CC, going up against Akai, a lot of CC, going up against Kimmy, a lot of CC. So right now, Vitality, they're really attacking the junglers. At this point, I really don't know what's good for Falcon's ID.
If it's someone with some slight escape mechanic, the Suyo Harley can be considered here, especially as you see how vulnerable the mid lane actually is. So you might just want to force out those random escape tools every now and then with those surprise angles if you go for the Harley. Objectives, I think, are Well, however you look at it, gonna be a
Yeah.
problem though for
Very
Team Falcons
difficult.
ID.
Yeah, having the Akai as well as the Paquito, it kind of covers two problems, right?
Yeah.
Around the turtle itself, the Akai is going to be great, and then the Paquito can deal with the mid laner, he can deal with the jungler, so yeah, I feel like they're opening the only viable option is a Fredrin, but Fredrin after the nerf, you can really feel the big difference. He's not as tanky as before. Eventually, he'll kind of be, you know, where he needs to be, but that's not why you pick up a Fredrin. You want Fredrin for that instant result.
Yeah, I mean, if you pair it with a carry, maybe there can be some ways around it. And then you can opt for a more tanky roam just to compensate for the front lines, because I think the Sora is more of a setup rather than a front line.
If I'm a jungler, I hate going up against this trio, man.
Yeah.
The Belleric, the Akai, the Paquito. At this point, I'm like, hey, can I don't know, use a Hanzo or something?
Oh, wait. They've
They've used it before. It did not look great.
It did not.
They've used it before. I know. That's why I brought it up. Nolan may be okay, but less about those objectives and hyper farm, try to get a 2-level lead against the Akai, and then try to deal with the Kimi or whatever gold laner they eventually get.
So there are a couple options out there for Sev. There's a Suyo, Harley, Nolan. Maybe a different assassin too, if you would consider. But it's just tough. At most,
Assassin is so
maybe a Haya.
I mean, like, look at this. They're all
There you go.
tanky, right? Like I said, they're gonna pick up the Nolan because they're trying to hyper farm. That's the only damaged jungler that I feel like you can hyper farm against an Akai, because the nerf makes it so that Akai clears very, very late, and then just ignore 2 turtles.
Yeah.
Ignore 2 turtles, get all the farm, and I hope you have enough damage.
With this, Falcons ID might be okay with letting the Hearth through, but does Vitality really pick that up? There are other options if they don't want to go that route, because that's also going to be primarily magic damage.
I guess Bruno is not bad if they want to, you know, use something that Zeta has used and proven in the game. And we got to talk about Shell as well. Shell can basically use anything. I've never really seen her being bad at any kind of heroes.
Okay, so the Harith is going to be the go-to still for Chell here, putting enough faith
Yeah.
in the team composition they've decided to field as well.
For now, all looks normal. This is typical draft coming in from Falcons ID as well as Vitality.
Predictions, what are we thinking?
I still think Vitality's got it.
I have to go with Vitality as well.
Okay, Vitality seems to be the favorite. Hey, these two met up 719 days ago. It was at the MWI at EWC26. But now in 2026, the great Indonesian rivalry will once again continue. It's Team Vitality versus Falcons Indonesia. Mirko Eterna, let's get it started.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 in this ID versus ID matchup. We're heading straight into the Land of Dawn. And the big question is whether or not Team Falcons ID will be able to claim their revenge up against their bitter rivals, Team Vitality, the defending champions.
And it's really cool to see as we get into the Land of Dawn. Hold on from Yeko, taking a bit of punishment early on. Great hold on that bush from both Sev and Violet, really learning from the pattern of Vitality in the last few matches we've seen from them. But it's just really cool to see Eterna. The last 2 years, it's been home court advantage for Falcons ID in Saudi Arabia. And now we see home court advantage for Vitality.
And I gotta say, it's so surprising, it's so breathtaking as well, because I think last time around, back last year, Vitality was the one that was really under pressure from everyone that was in the venue. And this time around, they've actually rocked up with drums. So even additional support, it's amazing to see. But let's get straight into the game right now. We're seeing an array of different picks. And it's interesting to see that the Nolan actually shows up here. And I feel like it will be quite difficult for the Nolan here come the early game and the earlier or the later stages of the game, especially with how much CC there is on Team Vitality.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot more of these Nolan just farming out the storm, clearing it out, trying to get the prio bottom lane though. Liv doing a good job in this matchup you'd expect for a win for the carry. Sev down below with a fracture, the Purify, not enough to get Chell out. First blood to Sev.
Cast a curse.
Cast a curse.
Cast a curse.
Yep.
But I love it. I love it. I love that Falcons are going to be able to get that a little bit ahead. And it looks like they're going to be able to chunk some gold out of that turret as well. So it will help Liv in that particular matchup. The carry will be a monster come the later stages of the game, especially when she gets her items up.
You know, this is something very, very interesting as well. Just looking at the matchup, Falcons ID, it's been so weird their run, yeah? They start off losing to Seda in a crazy underdog win. An early upset to the tournament, but then they climbed up and now they're just gonna go straight into playing strong side for the carry. They know they have no shot at the neutral objective. And the back's gonna be the all-in from Violet over to Zinni. Flicker route to safety. Violet chases her down below. Chelsea will survive. Vival on the turtle, picks up the retry on it, securing it. Violet gets away with the flicker, and it will just be a 2-0 start, but a neutral objective to Vitality.
And I think that's something that we can expect, right? I mean, Falcons came in here, guns blazing, utilizing a Nolan in the jungle. Meanwhile, Vitality took a slower route. They picked up the Akai once again. I think it's one of the comfort heroes that Vival has utilized over the course of the years, especially last year. And that's something quite notable. And they're just utilizing it to get a little bit more pressure around the neutral objectives, and they've done exactly that. However, it looks like Falcons now are the ones holding on to the gold lead. It's a 1K now for them so far. And it looks like Team Vitality, though, are looking to find something else of their own. They're going in for the invade onto the enemy jungle.
Yeah, one thing that they can do, but unfortunately for them, the Nolan can clear really quickly. Seb trying to cut them down. Vivian holding this position. Raimundo with a taunt unbreakable, forces the heavy spin out. The traction pulse locks Violet down. And it will just be to disengage as Fumi Echo on this Paquito. Lethal Ignition will continue to utilize the waves up top. Maybe trying to get a few more hits on it. Liv takes the gold crab away from Chell. Forces her back as well. Fumi, though, making quick work out of that turret up top.
I haven't seen Shell in this position in quite some time. Wait a second. Vival will be actually able to pick it up. But I mean, Zev, so far, she's been playing the Nolan quite well.
Fantastic. She's been clearing it out very, very well. Yes, the turtle went to Vitality, but this is why we expected the Nolans, the Assassins, to come back. It's just that farming speed that you cannot underestimate. And then obviously the fact that you can play for your winning side in the gold lane. Something we haven't seen in a while. It's been Claude, Moskov, Harrod. You just play weak side gold. Nowadays, especially with Zev, back on the Assassins, it's all right. We don't get neutral objectives, no problem. I'll just farm, invade, and take your gold lane down.
But it is quite typical of Shell. I think last year there were moments where she was also forced in a losing lane. But eventually, she usually is able to pick things up a little quicker later on when the items start rolling in. And I think that's something that we can expect. But it looks like both teams are now corralling over the neutral objective.
All in, AOG to try to help Violet escape. She actually gets over the shifting skies, forcing the flicker out of Zinni. She gets to a safe spot now with the Crimson Beacon utilized. Zinni gets knocked back with a Lantern Flare. It's still going to be Violet, shot down from the sky. Sheb taken low, taunted up from the Echo is right there to capitalize. And it's Vitality who level the playing field, 2-2 on the scoreboard.
And there's the mentality, there's the experience flowing through for the defending champions as they are 2 men ahead. I don't think there's going to be a contest here. Team Vitality will pick up the next neutral objective. And they're going to stop there. They go for the quick invade there into the enemy purple. And Nolan, you know, even with the changes, still need it. Does he get it?
Whoa. Fumieko almost getting an assassination up top. It's Raimundo. Yeah. Who secures the purple buff. Not the best person to be giving a purple buff, but it's better on her than on Vitality.
Damage control.
Damage control.
Damage control. But a fair fight. Falcons ID at this stage in time. What are the winning conditions?
At this point, it's really playing into the strong side. Liv has gotten such a good lead at the start of the game. I'm surprised they even contested that second neutral objective. It looked like they had the game plan ready. Fumieko overextending quite a bit, but it's a Paquito. Just flickers out of the way. Shev opens up against a Lethal Ignition. It's a Lethal Ignition battle. Fumieko in that 1v1. It was ticking down, but fortunately for Sev, she's able to escape. Vivian catches Raimundo with the Wrath of the Dryad, and now it's Liv picking up a turret down below, traded by Fumieko up top.
Okay, Vival gives information there, but they don't have anyone to kind of back that up. But in return, Team Vitality still pick up the turret on the top side of the map. And that gold lead that Falcons had earlier on, 1K, almost 2K, has now shifted quite slowly in favor of Team Vitality. There is some damage being placed onto Raimundo, and it looks like Team Vitality are looking for the cut.
Yep, traction pulse lands as well on Raimundo. Liv's able to pop in ultimate quickly, clears out the wave, and that's just it. Shev, though, has been struggling at matching the pace of Fumi Echo on the Paquito. Not even given space to go for the purple buff. Livy is in position, but Fumi Echo forces her to use the Crimson Beacon, and now Vivian's actually come in, backing Fumi Echo up. Vivian with the flicker after the Dryad. Good reaction from Sev. Raimundo falling back. Fumi Echo gonna go for the assassination again on Liv. Violet walks up onto Cine, no flicker. Vivo with a heavy spin. Forces the flicker around. Raimundo's caught all alone. The purple buff stolen away by Vivo. And now it's Fumi Echo diving under turret. Traction pulse lands, but the immobilization doesn't. Vivo was ready with the body slam. This turret, can they even defend it? No, they have to concede it. And guess what's up? The turtle, final turtle of the game, up and available right as the tier 1 falls in the mid lane.
Is this perfect turtle? Is this a perfect turtle? Is this a perfect game now for Team Vitality as they quickly find their own pacing here? 7 minutes being as aggressive as ever. The side lanes are definitely in danger for Team Falcons to whoever, right? At the stage of time, look at that, Fumi Echo!
Oh, with the lethal ignition, it's ticking down, Livy! Crimson Beacon and the regen both baited before a big fight. And guess what? The Paquito can make her way up top. Tini gets away from Sev in the mid lane. It's a free turret for Chell down below. And this is what makes Vitality special. At MWI, they're just so clean. At damage control, that's one when they start losing in the early game, but then at converting on objectives after every small victory they get.
Once again, it reflects their experience, right? They've been in this position over and over. And the one thing that I really paid attention to during these particular team fights is the Sky Piercer procs that unfortunately Cine will have her hands on. I think she should be at 20 stacks at this stage. She already has the glowing one as well. So it won't be as easy now for Falcons, and they need to be aware of the stacks coming in. Oh, wait a second, Violet!
Yep, caught in the midst of it all. Already pinned down by the heavy spin. AOG and the Breakable coming down, but now it's going to be Livy with the Crimson Beacon, knocking Cine up. Straight into Raimundo. Sev trying to flank, but look at Vivo. She's taking all that shred damage. Fumi with the flicker in, and a killing spree at that. Chell knows him on for. Still a bit of damage. That's going to be the conceal to bring Fumi Echo back into the fight. Fumi Echo on the turret. A triple kill for Fumi Echo on the Paquito.
What has she been on lately? MWI has just been a highlight reel for her from day number 1. At some point, she was the weakest link of Team Vitality. This year, she steps it up and sets a statement. And it looks like Violet is looking for something of her own.
Yeah, can't do much though. It's a heavy spin, rooted in place by Vivian. And yeah, I agree with you. You know, earlier we've had a talk about jungle or XP. You know what? I might have to go back to XP now that Fumi Echo is pulling this off. 5-0-2 on the Paquito. Vivo's just doing her job on the Akai, right? 007. Just enabling the rest of the team, enabling the damage dealers. Fumi Echo's, oh god.
Sev!
2 jabs and knockout, sending Sev straight back home. Oh god. Usually it's the person walking into the bush that gets cooked. I don't know. That was rough.
Opposite Kumar.
Ramuk?
Rumak. Oh wait, no, you're right, it's Ramuk.
It's Ramuk. It's Ramuk.
Well, there you go. 7,000 gold lead still for Team Vitality, and I'm just still so speechless and breathless of the development of Fumi Echo. Yesterday when she picked up the Lapu Lapu, it was crazy. Artelot was also insane, and now she brings out the Alice and the Paquito. And now Team Vitality are knocking on the base of Team Falcons. They have a Lord on the way. It's only been 10 minutes. And I feel like Team Falcons don't have the best clear.
They really don't, no. The carry is good at dealing with the Lord, but that's about it. And if she utilizes that cycle on the ultimate straight up, not going to be great for the rest of the team when it comes to the skirmishes. Vivian already flicker the Raptor Dryad lands, but it's just onto Raimundo who's still there. Shifting Skies on 2, but the rest of the team is able to disengage in time as Sev walks up in the back, but it's just the frontliners tanking up a Storm as the Revitalize coming down in the Shifting Skies again, this time up top for Mieko. Still trying to deal damage. Lantern Flare picking up the Panda, but Tini gets the mobilization down on Liv. Lord still up. Up top is going to be the Cannon Minion. Liv taking a ton of damage over. And they've cracked open the base already. Base turret number 1 taken down in the mid lane. They're going to try to push in these waves to get another top lane. Highest priority to get the far lane control. You always gotta look at Fumieko whenever she's in a 1v1. Purify can't save her. Shifting Skies on 3, but it's only Vivian that gets brought back as Chell is kiting them in the back. Zini's kiting away right now as Livbox 7 gets the double. Fumieko waiting for the moment. Falcons have defended well.
1-for-2 trade, and they lose Cine in the process. So the stacks on the Sky Piercer are going to reduce quite a bit. They lose Vivian in the process, and they fail to take the side lane inhibitor turrets. Falcons, I would say they walk away, and they walk away clean here. Right? All they need to do now is try to find a moment where Liv can execute these team fights a lot better. I think spacing is going to be ever as important. Vival and Vivian, though, aren't going to be easy to push through. Wait a second, Shell! She gets taken out!
Absolutely. Falcons know when to pounce. It's almost like they got that bird eye view of what's happening on the map. Chell took the purple buff, stayed a bit too long. Fumieko wants to go for the punish. Order a knockout strike on Zev. Good peel though. Fumieko thrown back again. That's gonna be a big shutdown for Raimundo. Violet jumping to the back, now jumping all over. It's the rest of the team trying to peel for her, but it's Violet over there with Livy to take City down. Vitality's crumpling the Lantern Flare to bring her back into Liv. All of a sudden, the game's back to level. That 8,000 gold lead now down to 2,000 as Zev will try to take the purple buff. Vivian, the mother of tanks, is able to save the purple, but that's about it. I don't know, Zev, because she made that move onto the purple buff, she needs to recall, and that delays this take for just a bit.
That's true, but it does still surmount a comeback angle here for Team Falcons. The fact that they were able to get that move onto Shell, the fact that they were able to look for that opening, that was brilliant. Team Vitality, after that, they looked scrambled in that particular team fight. They lost Cine in the process, they lost a lot of members in the process, and now Team Falcons are the ones to pick up the Lord here in the 13th minute of the game. Wow.
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
Wow, wee, wow.
Is that the new one? Is that the updated one?
Could be.
Okay, Falcons ID. Now let's see how they capitalize on the Lord. So far, they've been great at setting up ambushes. Just like this, just a bit of poke onto Vival. Straight to half HP. Chell's gotta be really careful, man. Gank down below for first blood. And the second time around, it's just overextension. Shifting Skies, baiting on the Purify. Good right for the try to disengage, but now the AOG comes through. Vivian got knocked up in the Lantern Flare, but it's not enough as Fumieko makes her move into the bottom lane. Now let's see how Vitality deal with this. On the base they go. It's Fumieko taking the turret down, and it's a winning trade at the end. Falcons ID though with the Flying Clouds going in, getting the assassination with the help of Livy.
So Fumieko here gets a taste of her own medicine, and then she gets ambushed. But she didn't realize, you know, I thought it was going to be a 1v1. It turns out they brought Livy with her. So a little unfair, but obviously they still got the job done. Fumieko, however, despite losing her life, was able to get that inhibitor turret in the bottom side, and that is going to work in favor of Team Vitality come the next Lord. That should spawn in under 90 seconds now. The thing is, the carry has her power spike down too. Wait a second, Violet.
Shifting Skies, Cine has to move away. Right for the Dryad taunts Violet just a bit. Cine goes past the wall right now as Zev is able to cut him down. Raimundo picks up the kill. Vivian has to jump away with the flicker. Immortality already down, and now she's gonna be caught, bursted out by Liv. Vitality down just to play it safe. Falcons ID have taken control of the map. But like you mentioned, Eterna, that is true. When the Lord spawns back again, Vitality will still have that far lane control, and it's up to Falcons ID to try to send someone down below and play it quick.
So the big question is, who are they going to send, right? I don't think if they...
It has to be Shev.
And I don't think Shev can be alone.
Nope.
Because 1v1 against a Paquito, we saw what happened earlier on in the top side. If they send Shev alone... See, this is the overthinking that is going to happen here for Falcons, and Team Vitality are sure to make way of it. You can see how much damage Fumieko is actually building here with everything popped up here, the Malefic Roar, the Hunter Strike. So imagine that first burst of damage from the Paquito, the first jab that occurs. That is going to be a problem. They're going to have to send maybe one or more than two people down if they want to try and win that 1v1 against Fumieko, because at the stage in time, Fumieko is the king of the far lane.
There's something that has gone downhill though. The Sky Piercer stacks of Cine. She's just building it up very calm, very steadily, but now it's all gone. So she won't have that execution factor. Chev, this is a very scary position to be holding. Oh my god, Vivel spots her. Chev's gonna have to try to pull off a crazy run right now. She goes for the recall inside of the bush. Vivel's shaking. Goes into the bush. Chev gets read out. Now Pumieko with the chase. Chev gets away with a fracture, and that's about it. Great escape. Crazy composure. Now it's Raimundo with a taunt on a no flicker tree. Forces out the Wrath of the Dryad. The rest of the team can't really go and pop in. Flicker up in 10 seconds, but Vivian is already half HP. Has to pop in the region, and now Pumieko is going to collide with Chev again. This time with a knockout strike. Takes away the immortality. Baits out the AOG. Raimundo with Revitalize as well. Now Vitality take back control over the Lord with the Paquito. Clearing down bot. Falcons ID gotta make a call. It's either they send Chev down. They can't contest this neutral objective.
Team Vitality, what's the call as well? Do they want to go for the burst in? Because Pumieko is knocking on the base, and here comes Violet.
Shifting skies onto the back right now. They're still trying to gamble it despite having no jungler in the midst of this team fight. Violet buying a bit of time. Vivian getting caught already. Pumieko cutting the waves, proxying it all the way so that Falcons ID can't punish. Now it's a cut from Livy, it seems. But no, she just ends up going for the wave. Pumieko gets to the bush in time. Vitality have secured the Lord.
Just like that. Just like that. It's simple chess at this stage, right? When we go around these Lord fights, it's a chess battle between two minds.
They had to make a decision whether to stop pushing down below, sending someone else, or to fight. They made both decisions, but contesting the Lord with no jungle.
They could have collapsed bot.
Exactly.
Like, that could have been a decision as well, but the Lord is going to be pushing, and interestingly enough, they're actually not going to push with it, so they don't really get an advantage with the Lord thing anyway.
Nope. Falcons ID did a fantastic job dealing with the waves and getting a trade off of that. Remember, it was Vivian taken out in that skirmish, so not much they can do without their main frontliner. So it's back to a stalemate. It's back to building up. And in this endgame, it's all about the far lane. Again, for Vitality, they have the advantage down below, especially with Pumieko on the Paquito. 1v1, it ain't gonna work. I think for Falcons ID, they just gotta gamble around neutral objective.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
Even then, it's hard though, because Pumieko just stand by, looking for that back door down below.
But I think that's what they're going for. Look at that rotation coming in from Team Falcons. They're sending literally 3 of their members. I think they want to be able to protect the jungle, give them a little bit more time. I think the buff is spawning very, very soon. There's still 80 seconds left for the next neutral objective to spawn as well. So I want to know the adaptations from Team Falcons. They proved to us yesterday that they can make adaptations in the game. Now, up against the very best, will they be able to pull off something similar?
It's a good question. Right now, it looks like they're on track to do it. Liv has all her items. They have enough peel for her, and it comes down to protect Liv. If Liv can live, they can win.
I get it.
Yeah, nice. Vitality, though, it's really all about controlling the neutral objectives and breaking the box of Falcons ID, right? It's a front-to-back classic up against Vitality, want to attack from different angles. The thing is, though, Falcons ID still have that X-Factor in Chev. She can come in from behind. She can actually look for the assassination on Chell once the Zaman Force is down. So it just comes down to execution at this point. It comes down to that macro decision-making as well. And so far, Vitality have looked cleaner on that department. Damage taken, though. The tree is taking a beating.
Damn. Violet as well.
Not surprising, yeah. Violet's taken so much with Raimundo.
Because I feel like every time we look at these team fights between these two teams, it always seems like Violet is the one to initiate first, and then there's like that engage after with the AOG coming. So obviously they're the ones that are absorbing as much damage, and they're just there to kind of just stand there to allow Livy and Liv to do their thing. And so far in these team fights, it's kind of worked. So is it possible for them to force another 5v5?
They can force a 5v5, but up top the minions will take the base turret down, and it'll go straight to the base. Livy shows herself up top. Vitality hold the Lord on the edge of a reset. And they send Pumieko down below again. It's the build-up play. It's all about that Lord dance. And Vitality, they have the composure to do it. Falcons ID, they have to make a decision while the wave isn't shoved in. Now it's a bit too late.
That's the decision, though. They're sending Carry and Gato Kacha on the bottom side of the map.
And that gives Vitality the green light to go for this Lord. They're going to try to utilize this Lord as bait, though. It's all about baiting Falcons into a 3v4. Fumi Echo into the mid lane, trying to get the prio there. She knows there's going to be an auto build, slow push down below, as long as Vitality are the ones to hold this Lord.
And that's the call. Fumi Echo looks like that she's rotating back towards the bottom side of the map. Falcons, you gotta think about this housekeeping. There still is a potential backdoor angle that Fumi Echo could do.
Oh, scary position to be holding there. Vitality. They know this wave is going to be slow pushing, so they just continuously reset the Lord. Fumi Echo finally shows up, so it's going to be two waves crashing down on Falcons ID. They send Chev down below. This should be it for Vitality. They should just go straight for it. Chev shows up without the reset. Vitality, they see the jungle down below. They're going to go straight for the Lord. No retribution in sight for Falcons ID.
I don't think they can get there in time. What?
That's a massive pick in the bottom lane. Now they have to go for the burst, but it's an evolved forward. Vivo's right there, shifting skies, delaying it already. It's Vivo with a heavy spin. Chev's going to walk up as well. The knockup comes through.
Wow.
Chev with the steal, City with there. Knocked up, and now it's Liv tearing up the frontliners. Liv goes godlike. Wave down below is good, but it's an evolved Lord in the 23rd minute of the game for the Falcons.
They've done it. They've done the unthinkable. They've outsmarted the defending champions. Ladies and gentlemen, evolved Lord on the way there in the top side of the map. And that was a decisive, quick thinking by Team Falcons, I would say. They bursted down Fumi Echo. Liv's damage is already up there. And now 12 seconds left, 27 seconds left for Vivian and City to come back into the game.
This is a bit greedy from Falcons ID. Instead of using the wave up top with the Lord, they're trying to utilize the waves in the bottom lane. They can just jump it in. Shifting skies, bait it out. Shell's able to escape with his on force as well. They're going in without the evolved Lord up top. Raimundo is going to get taken very low. They're fighting under a base turret with no minions. They're trying to brute force it, and they've gotten punished for it. Falcons ID, they had a shot, but Vitality survived. They don't even lose a single base turret. That was absolutely botched by Falcons ID.
The Lord is still on the way. The Lord is still watching and marching, but Raimundo is out of the picture. Even if they close this out, it's still a 4v5 situation, and they definitely do not have the advantage with it, and I think they know. They're still rotating towards it. Sev is looking, oh, wait a second, Violet looks for another pick.
Yeah, Lantern Flare as well. Chell pops his on force though, and Vivo is able to pin her down. Violet goes down straight up as they play with Chell. They took this fight 4v5, and it's not looking good as Fumi Echo goes for the knockout strike. Winter Crown already used with a fracture as well, but Fumi Echo comes back in. The Immortality delays the death by a bit, but City's right there and picks up the kill on Livy with the glowing wand. And now the questions start to arise again. Falcons ID, what was the vision of trying to brute force a base turret? Chev now in the mid lane.
They did it out of haste, and it did not pay off. And opportunities like that don't come twice against a team like Vitality. Fumi Echo now in a 1v1 against Chev. Chev fighting for her dear life, but she's gonna be sandwiched.
Raimundo with the AOG, a desperate one at that. Now it's Liv. 1v3 in a defense. It's everything thrown at her. Just a cannon minion. City takes her down. Vitality take game one after a back and forth and a confusing Falcons ID call that will certainly send everybody in backstage of the locker rooms of Falcons guessing and wondering, what the heck was that call?
When you're on a stage like this, when you hear the supporters of the opponents like this, sometimes decision making can go wrong. They had the opportunity. They did not take it to its utmost potential, and they will be going back to game number 2 on that quick reset. But what a game. It's one of the longer games that we've seen so far, 25 minutes.
That was painful.
Definitely was. Hopefully Team Falcons can reset after that, because obviously there is still an opportunity for them. They were able to do it once. Let's see if they can do it twice here in game number 2 to force a game number 3 under their hands. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in for game number 1. It's been